Hey there, everyone. Michael Damon back with you for another episode of Starbeam.one, Stand Up and Shine and Shill. It's going to be a little bit more shilling this episode. This is a series where I go through my project, Starbeam.one, and I take you through a stand-up format of what I worked on, what I will be working on, and any sort of friction points. Let's begin. A little shout out to Lion Blood clothing line from Nate Burleson. Actually created a company here in Michigan, in Detroit. It's a clothing line that's kind of like that hat, so that's why I'm wearing it. And also I like the message as well, of course, being from Michigan, Lions fan, and it's not related, but it's kind of a cool slogan. All right, so, some program notes here. I guess I'm starting out with, this is like a last second addition here. Is this RDL, Resaleable Digital Licenses. You're going to start hearing me say this a lot. I'm thinking, well, maybe not a lot, just if I say it, that's what I mean. And I'm circling this because, number one, it passes the Urban Dictionary test, right? So I went on Urban Dictionary. If you look at RDL, there's very little entries there, and what entries there are not really all that obscene. So I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm also relieved because now I can start using it. But it's just sort of, I think it's going to be a more centralized version of an NFT. So you have your NFTs and you got your RDLs, and you can pronounce some real deals. It's kind of something I wanted to mention. And I'm putting that out there. And then kind of moving on from there is the Lansing Art Fair. And the last time I was talking about maybe I will. Well, the rates are kind of going crazy right now, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to make that. But who knows? Maybe there might be a miracle here in the next week or so. Actually, it's this weekend. So yeah, it doesn't look too promising. But who knows, right? Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to make that. Just kind of want to let everyone know there. And then finally, kind of circling the main event here, right? June 7th is also my birthday, but it's also what I'm going to be releasing, the Friends and Family Alpha. And I kind of wanted to establish what I have in mind for that. A few things that I've been thinking about is, just very simple, very low key, because I am kind of behind schedule here with where I wanted to be with features. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 months after I release the Friends and Family Alpha. And so just low key, but I also wanted to have some major constraints in there to kind of keep things low key while I'm developing these features, yet having an application that is fully functional, and it's going to feature PayPal and Stripe integration. So the max value of an account will be $15. So technically you could go over that if you did buying and selling, but as far as deposits go, kind of thinking in terms of ins and outs, depositing money. You won't be able to deposit any more money if your account has $15. And if you are a creator during this time, the max value of your product, I'm actually thinking of being lower than this, but it's $5. So the max value you can assign to your products that you issue will be $5. I might even make it $3, but we'll keep it at $5 for now. And then withdrawals, you can only do one a day, once every 24 hours, and the max is going to be 15. I might even make it lower than that. Might even be 10, but we'll try 15 to see how that treats us. But the whole idea is to keep things safe, right? We're wanting to, test actual real world money while keeping things safe. And we're also trying to, not make it desirable for people to come in and game the system, which is also kind of a major concern as well. So, this is really kind of friends and family, and we're wanting to live up to that title, that billing. And those are the kind of constraints that I'm putting in place to live up to that. So, all right, cool. Let's move on to the next slide here. Okay, dashboard, not really a lot going on, of course. I've just been really getting into features a lot, and that's sort of been my focus here. And we'll see, I've got a lot done these past 2 weeks, but the only thing that you can see here are these visitors. I had 9 in the past day, and that's because I went on Twitter and I started bragging about the lines of code on this project, which is 106,000 right now, and there's over 7,700 files. And that when you do the math there, that means that it's less than 15 lines of code per file average. And I was kind of bragging about that. So I said, hey, you can see this in action, what I've got with this code here. And I'm sure everyone just kind of visited it and left. And that's kind of what reflected with the stats. Everything's still 0. So, this is, I kind of look at this as humble beginnings. Everything's 0. No one's actually using it just yet. And I'm really not wanting them to, because there's nothing, I've already got it tested, and things seem to be working. So we're ready for the next step here. All right, next slide. Okay, so now we're moving on to the stand-up, right? So stand-up, agile stand-up is what did you do? What are you working on, and any sort of friction or blocking points that you are encountering? And man, this past 2 weeks has been awesome for me. It's really like, this is what it's about, right? So these past 2 months, if you've been following along with the program, it's just been nothing but friction, right? So it's Azure and tooling. There's still tooling issues, but nothing. I was able to get so much done this week. I was just able to develop and pound keyboard, as my friend Jay out there calls it, just coding the entire time. And I really got a lot of features done. And so I'm going to be demonstrating this a lot here with the Shill part of the program, and we'll see a lot of that. So got the file upload story done and completed and integrated. There's just so many places, that it touches here with the application, and it works. Hopefully it will work during the demo as well, and you'll see that. And it's a whole new experience. Like, the controls are completely brand new. Everything's new about it, and you'll see it, and I'm really excited about it. Same thing, kind of moving on from that, is the Storefront files, which is based on that uploading story, and those are done, and it's I hope it really is shown as much as I appreciate it during the demo here, because I'm really happy with it. It's a CRUD control, and it's the first CRUD control in Blazor that I've done. Amazingly, you would think that I've done something kind of like CRUD controls in Blazor up until this point, but they haven't been like this. Like, this is a true create. So CRUD is create, read, update, and delete, and those are the 4 primary operations that you perform on an entity within your application. And I've done kind of like few pieces of that, right? But I haven't done anything like as pure as this. This is a pure CRUD control, and it's a Blazor CRUD control, and it's in this. I'll be showing that off here in the demo, and I'm really happy with it. So that what this does is allows you to provide storefront files for your creations. So if you upload an image, and remember, you can't really see the image unless you actually, make it a cover, which is, kind of defeating the purpose, right? Like, that's what happens with blockchain. Blockchain, everything is public. You can see everything, but what if you don't want that, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here, is we're making it so that you can do the same thing, but do it in a more traditional manner and hide things if you don't want them to be seen. That's what storefront files do, and they allow you to show your product in a way that will kind of preview the product to your customers, so they have a better idea what they're buying. And so I got that done for images, audio, and video. So you can upload all 3 asset types, and then they work for definitions and issuances, as we will see. And I also got, moving on to the last bullet point here, I got PDF and video files supported, as well as actual template types. So now, if you are a writer and you have a PDF and you have a book that is, preserved in that PDF file, you can now upload that and sell it on Starbeam.one. And so that is possible, and you can also do the same thing with video. So got a lot done this week, this past sprint rather, and just really happy with it, really happy with the momentum. And we'll talk a little bit more about that with the effectiveness level. Let's move on to what I'm working on. Okay, so what I'm working on now, I kind of get into, this is the last sprint. This is the last time you'll see me before we actually do the Friends and Family Alpha. And, it's like 3 weeks left, and it's my birthday, and it's also going to be producing and deploying a product where I can actually be making money from for the first time in my life, which is kind of, my own product that I built, which is, it's an honor to be able to think of such things, and it'll be even bigger honor if it doesn't crash or fail when I actually do it. So just kind of keeping fingers crossed here, and knocking on wood, as I always do, to, just to have best intentions and best thoughts towards that. So 3 weeks left, and so what I'm going to be doing here, we talked about last time, is the creation workflow. I'm kind of moving that to the last thing that I'm working on, because it's not so critical. It's something that can be done. I can start immediately after deploying the Friends and Family Alpha if needed. But until then, I've got some work to do on the dashboard. I've got some ideas around that to kind of improve that. I want to surface additional information, such as deposits and withdrawals. I want to have that available for people to see, like how much money is going in and how much money is going out and how much money is in the system, sort of thing. And then also showing, how much money is being made from those gratuity, from the network gratuities. How much money is Starbeam.one making? That's kind of an important detail as well. I want to make it as open and freely available as possible, so anyone can view that. And there's also kind of additions I want to make with making it so that it automatically refreshes and things of that nature, so you don't have to sit there and refresh the page that's what I'm doing now. If you want to see new information, you have to do that. So I want to fix that and get that in there. Let's see, product styling. So there's a few last issues I need to do with producing. This is all kind of like placeholder, kind of demo placeholder stuff there. So I got to fix that and work on that. Then finally, the main event, right? This is what makes it the actual alpha, right? Getting the actual money in and out through PayPal and Stripe. And so that's sort of the main thing. And if I get done early, I'm going to be working on that new creation workflow. So that might actually be able to make it into the Friends and Family Alpha, and we'll get that. We'll see how we do, and we'll see on June 7th how well I did. All right, let's move on here. Friction points. Now, man, so looking kind of bare there. Harold here, man. He was the mascot when things were going really bad. I'm going to keep him around because it's still how I feel whenever something goes wrong with Microsoft, especially using their feedback tool. I'm on the phone, I'm talking to them, and I'm, they might be answering if I'm lucky, and it's not what I want to hear usually. But not the case anymore, right? Everything is fixed. We have all the tooling problems. I still am dealing with tooling issues because they're fixed, but they're not going to be until the next release, which is in the first or second week of June. So I'm still kind of struggling, but it's on its way. But also on the flip side is that's been going on for over a year now, where it's been fixed and it's going to be in the next version, and it wasn't fixed. So, but I'm more than confident now because there were, they actually used my code this time around. They used my code and they reproduced the issue on their end, and that hasn't happened before. So I'm kind of more confident than usual in that regard. So tooling, I'm not such a big problem. The only problem that I have right now is Azure. We ran into these issues where permissions are not flowing from Azure security groups to the applications to which I have them configured. And so it's just something this has actually happened since the beginning. And it's one of those things where it breaks, and then I have to add them manually to the service, and then it starts working, and then I can remove them, and then I can just use the group. And so now, I might not actually run into this again, because this is probably the last time I'm going to be doing Azure environment kind of configurations that I did like last time, sort of thing. But I just kind of want to get it out there. Like I just talk with support. I got a ticket open, and so we'll see how that goes. But that's really the only thing. Everything else is fixed, and it's like, yes. And it's kind of reflecting in my day-to-day. I've been just getting a lot done. And on that note, effectiveness level. So, if I got the new creation story done, this would be like a 9 or 10. That's really the only thing that's keeping me out of a higher score here. 7.5 is the highest that I've ranked myself. I've been feeling extremely effective. Everything that I've been wanting to do, I've been able to do it. And it's just been an awesome experience these past 2 weeks. I've just been able to get everything done, and I got a lot done. The other thing that I didn't mention, and what I did get done, was I consolidated all the workflow workers. So all of my web job workers that I had 9 of them. And so we're running into a problem where for each and every worker, it was running in its own process, which, intuitively I was thinking, well, that's a great thing to have, because it's isolated, and if a problem happens and it's in its own process. Well, the problem is when you're in Azure, those are 9 processes, each with its own .NET host, and it has to new that up, and it takes a long time to do that. It's like 5 or 6 second initialization time for each and every time that a web job has to execute. So if you got like a deposit or an authentication or a sale, each one of those has to new up whenever that occurs, and it's like a 5 or 6 second wait each and every time. Well, now I just fixed it so they're all under one process, and the first time that it's executed, which I fixed with a warm-up, I created a new queue altogether so that it warms up immediately. So it's only like a couple seconds now whenever you encounter any one of those workflows or any one of those web jobs, or any one of those workers, and it's really fast now. So that's another thing that I fixed. And just again, everything's really working well right now. I hope it continues here for the next 3 weeks here. All right, so now let's move into the demos, to the shilling part of the episode. Okay, time to shill. It's my favorite part of the episode when I actually do it. And as you can see here, we've got a new logo, got a new title, and I'm very happy with it. Been working with Marco, who's been really helping me out with art, and we've got a new logo. So now, the last logo was straight up from Google. I took it from Google. As long as you could give Google the appropriations or the attributions, which I have in the I've been doing in the footer of every page. It's still there, actually. We can actually scroll to that, and you can see that. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you can see, yeah, icon by Google. So I can actually remove that now. We have our own icon and our own title. And yeah, some things, just a lot got done these past 2 weeks. So I'm very happy with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have 3 demos for this episode. I'm catching up for a lot of different, or just, not having shills for the past 2 episodes. So I'm going to show off to start with, I'm going to show off a video. So I'm just going to type a video here. It's going to be a product. You want to capitalize that. All right. And so one thing I've done here is I've kind of simplified it just a little bit with with definitions. I've got an accordion control. So I'm really getting to Sync Fusion. Shout out to Sync Fusion out there. They just do really good with controls and my browser was kind of struggling with that because I'm running the video. Was recording the videos here with getting this the video recorded for this episode. It kind of struggles with it. So, but yeah, Sync Fusion is great. I've just been having a lot of luck with their controls, and so you can see here we've got it's completely different. So everything now, again, getting back to what the problem was, or one of the problems was that this is one of the very first things I ever developed, and so it was also kind of slow, and so now everything's in this. In the accordion controls. So those don't render. Those don't process on the server until you expand them, which is awesome, right? And that was kind of the problems that had all these different controls and all these different pieces on the page, and they were all rendering whenever you loaded. This page took a long time. And so now it only renders when you expand those accordion controls. So these are the controls that are used to upload assets and just video files. Now, there's a whole upload story around this, and it's all consolidated, and it works pretty well. Hopefully it works as well during the demo as it has been in my own personal testing here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a type here, and you'll notice that we have new types, new templates that we can use. And I'm going to select basic video is what I'm kind of demonstrating here, and now it's asking for a featured video file. So again, it's kind of getting to the Sync Fusion controls. These are the browse file upload controls. So I'm going to browse for a file here, and I have a file for a trailer for an MP4, just a trailer I found offline, and now it's going to upload that. And so it's all streaming. It's just the latest greatest from HTML5 and .NET Core. And so there we go. So the file has been uploaded here. And so what we have is the file is ready to, and I think that's everything. We're going to get into Storefront files in the next demonstration. Okay, so now we've got our video. I'm going to go into inventory. Now I'm going to produce. Remember, so those definitions are like our printing plates for our own personal printing press. And now I'm going to create new inventory. And actually, I'm just going to get to the point here. I'm not actually going to create it. I'm just going to show a preview of it because you can see the control. So here it shows you all available definitions that have not been published or have sold out. So this video is the one I just made. So I'm going to select that. And now it's going to load all those values in from those printing plates, that definition / printing plate. You can look at it as that. And I'm just going to hit review here. And so now for the main event, it's going to preview. It's going to create a preview of this. And this is all brand new and deployed, so it might take a little while to warm up, like I was talking about. That also applies to the content server, which is what is happening right now. And it takes a little bit here. This is also in staging. I'm also using the staging environment, by the way. So none of it's been warmed up. With production, it does get warmed up, so it won't take as long. And so now we're going to go into the preview, and here we are, right? So this might look familiar with the product's typical product plate or product template. And so now I'm going to open it, and you can just see it's just a regular HTML5 control, and boom, there you go. We've got our own video that is playing, and it's seekable. And you can go through. I mean, it just works just like a regular video control. And so there you go. And then there you have it. So that's the one of the first products. Let's move on to the book, the PDF. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, PDF is very similar. Let's go ahead and create a new definition here, and we'll call this one a book. I know I'm being really original. Missing the capitalization here. Really original with my titles, and here we go. Just make this a real simple price point. And so now I'm going to go to packaging and content. And the same thing, right? So I'm just going to select the content template that we're using, which is a book down towards the bottom. It's the last one that I've added. And this only supports a PDF. So again, kind of just going through the browse, using those sync fusion controls again. And I just got a PDF file here, a sample PDF that I downloaded from the internet. It's not one that I made. Low budget here. Okay, so now we've got all that assigned. I'm going to create that definition. And then I'm going to go into the same thing as I did with the videos. I'm going to just go to inventory. And so here for our inventory, I'm going to create new inventory. And the video is still there, and I'm going to make a book, right? And so here we go. Scroll down here to, it should be faster this time, right? So I'm going to review everything. Boom, there it is, right? That's how fast it was. So now I'm going to hit preview. And now this is going to load up the, a sample of a book, right? So I typed in for the template. I'm going to open it. And here it's going to have a PDF viewer to show the book. Hopefully, if everything works. Yes! Yeah, okay, this is the first time I've tested it on this machine. So it works on 2 machines now. All right, so again, just kind of, real basic PDF. We've got 2 different controls here. You can open up a new tab or you can download it directly. So if you want to see it in a new tab of what this looks like, this is what happens. It just opens up in the native browser control, basically what you saw in the other window, which is just a basic iframe. So cool, huh? That is the book and the video. So in the next and final demo, I'm gonna publish that video, and then I'm going to add some storefront files. Okay, the third Shill session for this episode, the third and final one. We're going to talk about the storefront files, and the first 2 talking about the video and the book, and I'm going to select the video here because it's flashier, for lack of a better expression, and it also kind of coincides with the files that we're going to be uploading here. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go back to that definition, and so how these storefront files work is that they're a property of a definition. So whatever you define in here gets loaded into the issuance, into the inventory when you create new inventory. And that's how that works. So the inventory, when you issue new product, is through your own personal printing press. And these definitions are those printing plates to your own personal printing press. And that's how that works. So all the values defined in here get loaded into that printing press at the time of issuance. And so here, these files are used to describe your product in a way that will allow the person that is considering buying it to know more information about that product. So it just basically provides a preview into your product, or a way to describe your product, so that people who are purchasing it are better informed and have more information about what your product's all about. And you could do this with images, you could do this with audio, and you could do this with video. And so we're going to start here by clicking new. And one of the things that you can see here is that you could just define whether to upload a file from your system or whether this file exists somewhere else. And so up to this point, when we were talking about files, for asset files, we manage those asset files, right? Because we are selling them. And so we want to make sure that the assets are loaded and uploaded directly to our servers, so that we're managing that. That way, you never lose access to it, right? And the only way that it would lose access to it is if Azure went down, right? And so with a 99.999, whatever it is, SLA policy, that's going to be rare sort of thing. And in this case, this is a storefront, right? So the storefront's more of your domain, it's more of your marketing, so you can provide these files. And if you've already had this file somewhere and you are okay with managing that, then you can provide that. So that's kind of the rationale, the reasoning behind that. In my case, I have a file that I have here locally on my system that I've been testing, and I don't have a file that I have stored somewhere else. And here, in this case, it's just a picture of a dancing elephant that I've been testing with. Kind of cool. I also kind of want to make it a mascot. So when you upload a file, it doesn't make kind of establishing some context here is that you have your title and you've got your description, and these are displayed on the storefront if you choose to do so. Thing with a file, if you upload a file, it puts the title of the file name as a title, so you might not want to display that right away. So that's why I had that unchecked. So you can choose to check that or uncheck that, and to put a actual title here. So I'm just gonna say a dancing elephant. All right, so we've got our elephant, and so we've got our description here. Just type in something that will kind of let the user viewing this have a better idea what this is. Okay, so now we've got our image. Now I'm gonna upload a quick audio file that I have. And again, it's getting the sync fusion controls, really happy with these. And so I've got a little file here. So, all right. And so we've got this. So now here you could preview that, you could play it, you can see it, and it streams. You can choose, you know, a different point in there if you'd like. If request, I'm not going to put in a title for that. I'm not going to display the title for that. I'm going to jump to the videos here. And so here, I'm actually going to kind of demonstrate a cool feature that I've developed around this, is that you can specify a external link to a Vimeo or a YouTube video. So I've got a sample Vimeo here. I'm going to paste this. And here we go. It's going to check that and then put that in. And again, just a regular HTML. Such an awesome time to be, you know, developing right now, because basically everything is, you know, accounted for, especially with like Droid or iOS. All of that is accounted for in HTML5. So here we go. I'm just going to say a sample Vimeo, and I'm just going to leave the description blank for now. So I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to do the same thing for YouTube. I've got a YouTube link here. Okay. All right, so what that does is it goes out and fetches that, make sure it's a legitimate URL. And there you go, you got your YouTube video. It's just a sample video typed in sample. It's a rabbit out of the hole. Let me just say rabbit hole. Okay, just leave the description blank. Well, why not? A description if you'd like. All right, so now, obviously not used to this keyboard. I got a separate keyboard for my demo machine here. All right, so there we go. So now we've got our two videos, our audio and our images, and now this is going to be saved to our definition, right? So now we can make new inventory. Whenever we make inventory for this product, all of those files will be loaded and then will be published as part of the product. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to inventory. I'm going to say create new inventory. And again, it's kind of looks familiar here. I'm just going to go video. Last time we kind of just did a review, but I'm actually going to publish this because it's a storefront, right? That's the whole point of doing this. And you're going to see these storefront files as published on, I'm using the staging server here. And so, you know, again, loaded on all these values, right? You got our images, our audio, and our video. We can take these and you can also order these if you'd like. So I'm put the rabbit hole first. So I'm going to order that up. This is sync fusion control again. Just everything just works really well. And you know, if I wanted to, I could delete it. I can edit it if I want to. And this is completely separate from the definition. So all the values here are completely separate from the definition. It just loads those values for this particular issuance, just like a regular printing plate. All right. So, or loads the printing plate for the printing press. So, and then the printing plate would have those values. So, okay, moving along here. And here you can see that it loads those storefront files. So you can see what it looks like before. This is what it's going to look like on the storefront. So it just loads that same control, and you can kind of just click through here and see if they look how you would expect it. And you got your images, you have our dancing elephant here, and you can scroll down. You got our title and our description like we described it. And there you go. So our videos, we should see one for the Vimeo and the one for YouTube. YouTube rabbit hole was up first, right? Because we moved that up first. So that's exactly how we would expect that. So that looks good. Okay, cool. It's confirming here. Now I'm going to confirm and I'm going to publish this. And if everything goes okay, we'll have our issuance here and our inventory will be produced. See, look how fast that is, right? Just boom, it just went right into that. So before it would take like 5 or 6 seconds to warm up. And now we don't have that anymore due to the worker consolidation. And there we go. We've got our own new issuance now, and we can go to the storefront, and hopefully all those files will now be there and we can see that in our new storefront. And there we go, a video by Mike E. Yep. And so here we are, and we got our preview files exactly like how we expected them, right? We've got that rabbit hole that was moved up first as an order, and then our Vimeo video is second, and then we can click over here with our audio. We've got our audio clip here, and then we've got our images. Dancing elephant. Awesome, huh? Right. And this is all configurable with a CRUD control. Just really happy with that. And it just adds so much more, right? And it just adds so much more to the store, to the experience. Now people can have an idea of what they're going to buy, and creators can provide more information about what, you know, and they can get really creative with that with their videos, you know, everything without selling, you know, or, providing that actual file, without giving away what you're actually selling, sort of thing. Just really just adds so much to that. Hopefully you can gain a sense of excitement around that. And now I think that's all of that. Now we can just move on to the last slide here. Whew, man. That's like 30 minutes. The first time I've gone over 30 minutes, and making up for lost time here with 3 shills in one episode. And hopefully you enjoyed that. And I'm just really excited about this. And hopefully you can tell that it's just really happy too, right? That's just designing these controls and with Sync Fusion and whatnot. I was able to really put them together, and they really work really well. Exactly how you expect them with Blazor. Just a new time with development. Very happy with that and very excited about that. And so I kind of wanted to finish here with thanking people for all of your support out there. Justin L, especially just helping out, just being really supportive. Very much appreciate it. MG, Cookies and Code. Thank you for your support. In fact, you are the deciding reason for getting those product files in place. I had 2 artists that were talking about that and asking about that, and I posted a comment in a YouTube video, and I was like, okay, I need to get this done. And that was kind of the deciding factor for that. But thank you for your support in the comments, and to everyone else out there. And just wanted to Max I just met, who subscribed right away. Thank you, Max. Welcome to our community. Welcome to Twitter. You're a brand new Twitter user. Just kind of want to make them feel welcome, and just to provide my thanks as well. And Sebastian is also another person that's out there on Twitter. Thank you for your support as well. And it's been really nice having someone out there actually liking my tweets. It's kind of it's really cold out there in Twitter, especially in the tech community. And Sebastian's like me. Like, it's really kind of I don't want to just want to you like things, right? It's like when you're supportive. When you see something, you're more apt to like it than not. And there's just a lot of really it's cold, in the tech Twitter community, and it's just really tough sometimes. So just thank you, Sebastian, for being like me and liking things, and very much appreciate it. So to everyone else, thank you. I know there's also one person at least every week I get 1 like. I just, if we can continue that, keep that up. Whoever you are out there, it doesn't say who's liking it, but I'm getting 1 like, and it really means the world to me. So let's keep it going. And for all your support, thank you for any feedback that you have. I have these QR codes here that you can capture with your phone. You can also just email me at feedback at starbeam.one. And you can also just visit the alpha.starbeam.one, and there is a chat window there. You can also communicate to me through that. So thank you again for everyone and their support out there. Thank you for any feedback, likes, and subscribes. And until next time, stay bright. Goodbye.